So good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tara.
Mhm.
Today we have Tara Martello. She is a pediatrician therapist, and she has been doing this work for a long time when she discovered that she could be way much more for children, but also for their parents. So I will let her tell you more about what she does. But before I will tell you what we do at Your Angel Network. So I'm Medge Jaspan, the founder of Your Angel Network. We have a platform where people come to have ideas, tips, and keys to feel better on a daily basis. So why we call it Your Angel Network? Because I absolutely love angels first, but also because I believe that kindness is very important in life. So I found people who have been angels for me, and I would like to be an angel for you. And all the people on our platform want also to be angels for you, help you in your daily life. So, Tara, I'm so happy that you are here. I found your story fascinating, and I'm sure you have so many people who have the same story than you, but are not able to figure out what's going on, understand what's going on. So tell us about your story.
Thank you so much, Medge. I really appreciate you having me here and the Angel Network. What a beautiful mission. I feel honored to be here today speaking with you. So my story, it has been a journey. So as you said, I have been an occupational therapist for children for almost 20 years, and I own my own business. And so I would say about 5 years ago, I was newly divorced, single mom, going through and owning a business and running a business with therapists that worked for me, having clients and children. And I don't know if you have felt this way in your life, but there was a deep dissatisfaction with what, even though it seemed like I was recovering from my divorce and I was rocking the single mom thing and dating and meeting people, and my business was successful and growing, I felt like there was something more pulling me into a different direction. So I started a path of like self-development, the traditional ways, reading books and therapists, and then I took a mindfulness class, got back into yoga, but it was like moving along. And then I met somebody. I met a man, and it was an intense soul connection. And there was something about our connection. The first time we met, there was like the energy, I could feel it. And it sparked something within me. It sparked something deep within me that I didn't know what it meant or what was going on. And when we finally really connected, I had an experience with this man, which I would say now it's indescribable, but
Okay.
What some people would say is like a Kundalini awakening, or an awakening, an opening of your energy centers. And I had an experience of what I would consider to be like a feeling of source, a feeling of love and bliss and unity, right?
Oh,
And it was so incredibly intense, and it just, I felt like my entire body disappeared, and I was like gone from time and space, and bathe in this love. And it was such a beautiful experience, and I had it with this man. And then after, it was like sort of a purging process that happened.
okay.
So
Because
for
it's
anybody out
difficult.
there going through
Yes.
uh, more grief and crying, and I thought I was depressed, I was like crying for no reason all the time, things from my past were coming up for review. So I was like revisiting past traumas, I was revisiting my divorce and realizing that there was unresolved grief, and it was just like this digging of like all of these things.
So if I may ask, so it's like you suddenly you realize that you were somebody, and suddenly you realize that there were much more inside,
Mhm.
And it's like you have the surface and you drop inside, and
Mhm.
inside you find this amazing, beautiful, unconditional love.
Yeah.
And suddenly, because you find that, you find also all the crazy trauma past that happened to you that
Yeah,
you knew before.
absolutely. It was like I experienced pure love and bliss that existed within me.
Mhm.
And then I had to face and kind of come face to face with all the things that were not of that. And so it was a really long process of kind of self discovery and going within and being like, what's going on? Like, I thought I was losing my mind because then, in addition, I started having psychic experiences and mediumship experiences. So, like, seeing, communicating with spirits and all of these things. And I was so unprepared for all of that. Like, I was like, this is weird.
But
Something's happening to me.
yes, but do you know that we all can experience that when we just drop in, because it's something normal. We all have abilities. We realize that we use maybe 20%, and even maybe not that much, that of our abilities. So you suddenly discover a new tower.
I did. It was a new Tara, that's for sure. I was like, what is happening to me? And I would have these experiences where I'd be really fully connected to the earth and all humans and feel people's pain and people's excuse me, people's joy and people's fears and the entire earth. Like, if there are events that happen within the earth, like earthquakes or hurricanes, I would feel that pressure through my body. And I realized this deep unity that we and interconnectedness that we have with all things, and that really we are intricately linked to everything around us. And it, through my experience, I mean, it was so intense and so emotional, and I was at times really terrified because I just didn't know what was happening to me. I thought I was schizophrenic or having a psychotic episode, and I would like go see therapists and be like, what's happening for me? I like just searched everywhere. I saw shamans. I got trained by a shaman. I did breath work. I got certified in Reiki and yoga and mindfulness and meditation. And I just went through all of these modalities, like Western medicine, Eastern medicine, alternative medicine. I studied all religions, New Age spirituality, just to try to make sense
Understand? Mhm.
of what was happening to me and what I was experiencing. And the thing about it is, we think that awakening involves like bliss states, that enlightenment is this path to total and utter peace and calm. And what I discovered is that you can get there, right? But you have to go through the shadow. You
Of course.
have to face your fears. The conditioning, because we are all so conditioned in the society. As soon as we are born into this world, we are conditioned to hide our true selves, our authentic self. So it's, school systems and the government systems and your corporations. It's all like, you have to conform to this way. It's about being part of the group, otherwise that
Exactly.
you can't survive.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
it's about also, if I can ask, it's about fitting. So what's going on is that we need to fit to the community, to the environment, to the family even, and we are losing ourselves in this. Oh, I have to be like that. I have to fit. I have to look perfect. You have a image of what you should look like,
Mhm.
what you should say, what is acceptable, and everything. And absolutely, we lose ourselves.
Absolutely. And for those listening out there, it's like, if you have felt that you can't do something that you truly desire because it doesn't fit the status quo, because you're not going to be worth this much money or have this security or be rejected by the group, that is all false narratives. That's false conditioning. We have innately within us everything we need. And we are beautiful beings made from the energy of love. Like love is not an action to me. It's a frequency. It's an energy. It's a consciousness.
Absolutely.
And we all come from that. It's just, we have been so conditioned away from that. And we have wounding as a result of that conditioning. So even if you haven't experienced severe trauma, which I have to say many of us in some form of trauma, whether little or big, or loss or betrayal or rejection, abandonment, we've all had these experiences, but we've also been deeply conditioned to not be our authentic selves, but to survive. Being part of the group, being part of the tribe is about survival. And it's a programming in the brain. And so
survival and adaptation. So we have to adapt to the group, and in the group we have to look like something to be accepted by them.
Exactly. And through my path of all of this kind of ups and downs and trial and error and like thinking I was crazy and being in the depths of my own darkness, and just being with the wounds and being with the emotions, I discovered that we don't even allow ourselves to feel fully.
Mm-hmm. But you know what's going on? Because we are, if we want to show up in the world, we cannot feel, because if we feel, we will maybe feel that we are not at the right place. We are not really adapted to this environment. We will feel inadequate.
Mm-hmm.
And also pain, guilt, shame, anxiety, stress, all that are feelings that we have been suppressing, put it on the side, under the rug. And if we do that, we are not able to fully experience this feeling in order to experience what's coming after this feeling. Because it's like in nature. We are part of nature.
Yes.
So after the storm, it's a calm.
Yeah.
So how can we experience the calm if we haven't experienced really the storm?
Yeah, it's so true.
So if you
true.
are listening and you have some kind of experience, go on your angel network, because you have a lot of people there who have been through what you're going through. And your son, well, I was fascinating also, Sarah, because I heard your son talking, and I was wow by it. And I thought about some of my students who, that I can perceive when they talk, that they are not talking like 12-year-old kids. They are talking with a wisdom, which is something a little bit deeper than what's going on in the world. And when you have a student like that, or a child like that, you as a therapist, what would you recommend to this person? And tell us about your son first, and tell us what you recommend to these parents who have these kids who are fully awakened.
So my son is 11, and during my awakening, so when he was born, I noticed that there were some things going on with him. And I'm, as a pediatric occupational therapist, I was like, oh, he's so sensitive. He's sensitive to touch. He's sensitive to the world. I did therapy with him. He got diagnosed with ADHD. And I realized and recognized prior to my awakening that he needed parenting in a way that was special or different to him. It was unique to him. And what I started telling parents was, we have to see what our child needs and respond to those unique needs, because every child is individual and unique. And what I specialized in was emotional regulation and self-regulation and co-regulation, which is often what I teach now for adults and parents through mindfulness techniques. We need to come and experience the full range of emotions, allow ourselves, hold space for that, and allow then our children to do that by co-regulating and demonstrating that it's okay to feel intense emotions. It's okay to feel anger. It's okay to feel sadness. And in that you could be there and you could be present, open-heartedly, fully present with that emotion without trying to distract, stop, prevent, saying it's okay, but really acknowledging and empathizing and holding space, like being there, breathing through it, so that that is a model of co-regulation. So that's like sort of my history prior to awakening. And then when I had my awakening, my son blew my mind.
You realize that he was already way above.
Yes, I mean,
He wanted to hear you. He was waiting for you to be ready to hear him.
Exactly. And he always was really sensitive. I remember one time he was 5 years old and he was crying himself to sleep. And he was actually with his father. And his father called me and he's like, John had a really rough night. He cried and cried and cried. And when I said what was wrong, he said, I just love and care for people so much. And I just see how people don't love and care for each other. And I'm so sad about that. And the first thing that I thought of was, oh, wow, he's like me. He's going to have a really hard life because it's so hard to be that sensitive. Like that is how much conditioning I had. It's so hard to be that sensitive and be in this world because you don't, like, I always felt like I didn't belong here. And I was like projecting that onto him.
Yes. And a lot of kids feel like that. I don't belong to this family. I don't belong to the world. I don't know how to adapt. I don't feel that I can really adapt. And you have children who are ending their life because they feel rejected at school, rejected in the family, rejected by their peer and everybody around them.
Every single one of us has the desire to be seen, heard, and understood.
Mm-hmm.
And the gift that children give us, it's not like we're the parents and we're here to guide their path and protect them from their lessons. Like they are souls that incarnated into this life, and we are here to bear witness, to physically protect them and to bear witness to their process. And it's a totally different way of parenting. And he has really taught me to step back, to keep my conditioning in check and not project onto him like, you have to be successful and this is how you have to be successful. You have to do well in school. You have to work hard, because that's not how he works. And so when I awakened, he said to me, he's like, I'm so glad that you're finally awake.
Wow.
I have been waiting my entire life. And he was 7 at the time. He's like, I've been waiting my whole life for you to wake up. I'm like, what are you talking about?
That is so beautiful.
He's like, well, he's like, you're awake now. Like, you know that we are beyond what we see in the world. And I forget the words he used, but I said, what do you mean? I said, do you hear spirits or like other voices that are not your own? Like I tried, and he's like, yeah, oh yeah, all the time. He's like, I have protectors and they tell me about the universe. And I'm like, what do they tell you about the universe? He's like, they tell me a lot about the universe, but basically that we are here, meaning him and I, to be the light so that we can balance the darkness in the world. And I was like, what are you talking about? So, and he goes, and I was like, tears were coming down my face, and he just put his hand on my hand. And he goes, don't worry, Mom. I'm here to protect you spiritually, and you're here to protect me physically. I chose you to be my mother when I was a soul. And he's like, because you could do this.
So when you hear that, it's like, wow.
Wow.
Because I heard your story before, but I still have goosebumps when I hear it, because it's so profound. But also, we have so many children in the world who are like that. You know, as a little girl, I was extremely, extremely sensitive. I was feeling and experience. I have some experience, and I was repressing things because I wasn't in the environment to be able to talk about that. I was in a very Catholic family. I will never talk about this kind of stuff because they will really say that I did medication. And
Yeah.
but I was feeling people, and I used to feel people who are sick, and I was coming near them and giving them love and feeling that it would be. I didn't know what I was doing. So like you, I have my new awakening, I will say, where I try to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It's and we are so many in the world. And why are we doing these videos? We are doing these videos for you to realize that you are not alone in the world. We are a lot having this kind of experience. And if you have a child who is saying stuff, who feel not right or not conventional, because they are right, they are not conventional, but they are right, just step back, feel your kids in your heart and say, okay, it's my kid, I love him, but how can I help him?
Mm-hmm.
And he might give you idea and solution to help him because he's already fully aware and have he's seeing stuff that we don't see, right? So it's important for you to listen and don't judge, don't put a label on him. He has schizophrenia, he has that, he's so just listen. And it's what you talk with the parents. You talk about listening.
Absolutely. I mean, so I will say this. What you said is so beautiful, but children are connected still to who they truly are until about the age of 6 or 7.
Yes.
And so they do have this sensitivity. They do pick up on energy. And the thing that I teach most with parents is really paying attention, really being with whatever your child's feeling at the moment. So like, especially in toddlerhood, when the emotions are up and down, if you observe a toddler, you see that they have big emotions, big responses to things. But if you could hold space for them through that crying or anger and be there present with the moment with your heart open and not closed and not uncomfortable,
And that's with the head.
not with your head,
Yeah.
not trying to distract, you realize that they express it, let it go, and it's gone. And they move on to joy. And it's like they teach us. The children are teaching us how to deal with emotions. And the thing about this generation of children, I'm an astrologer. I'm very into astrology. I use the energy of astrology to help assist people in finding their true soul purpose and how their soul came into this life to evolve in order to live an authentic life, and some of the wounding and healing that needs to take place. And it's like, if we are the ones conditioned to believe that emotions are bad or negative and that we shouldn't cry or shouldn't get angry like that, or all of these things. But if you pay attention to children, they teach us. And this generation of children is so aware. They are coming in more aware than ever, more connected than ever to their true soul essence, because we are going through a collective transformation. This Pluto through Capricorn is really transforming the way our world works, our physical structures of our world, our government systems, our financial systems, all the systems and structures we have built. And the Pluto and Capricorn children are the ones that are going to redefine and remake that society. So they have their own ideas. I listen to my son all the time, and he amazes me with what he says. He definitely knows. I remember at 7 or 8, wanted to do a video about spirituality, and he said, like, he just shocks me. It's like mic drop all the time. He's like, we are pure genius. We know more than we could possibly imagine.
Absolutely.
And he goes, we come into the human body and forget who we are. And he goes, I didn't forget all the way. I forgot a little bit of the way.
This is so Yeah,
You know, at the time he says these things, you know, because it's been over 4 years that he's been dropping these bombs on me, and it takes me years to process because I am not as like, he has been my guide and teacher. Like, he is so empathetic. He knows if something's going on, he could pick it up, he could psychically analyze it. He understands that. He told me recently, he's like, I'm gonna, you know, he's like, I don't understand the point of school. It's so hypocritical. This doesn't make sense. Teachers say that you could be your true self, but they don't let you be your true self. And this kid learns this way. Like, there's a child with autism who flaps his hands and they yell at him not to pay attention. And he's like, that's how he pays attention. He's like, I'm here to talk and communicate. They always yell at me not to talk. He's like, I'm a messenger. That is my purpose. And he's like, I have a message. And
this is so amazing. I think that we are unique and fabulous, exactly how we are.
I said, so what is your message? I said, what is your message? And he goes, my message is you have to be your true self. And he said, and so how are you going to get people to be their true self? And he goes, first of all, they need to feel all of their feelings. He's like, all human beings, adults, especially men, walk around angry, but they're really sad deep inside. And he's like, because they have not been able to healthily like express their anger and their sadness in a healthy way. He's like, and I know ways to do that. And he's like describing how you can punch a pillow or scream into a pillow. You know what I mean? Like, he's going through all this.
Beautiful. And it's a child.
I was like, oh, so you have it like down, like all the points. And I go, and what do you think this will do? I said, if everybody in school was their true self, wouldn't there be chaos? Like, wouldn't there be chaos in the world if everybody was their true self? And he goes, if everybody was their true self, then they would really know who they are, and there would only be peace and love in the world, because that's who we truly are.
He is so right. He's so right.
Mean, he like nails it on the head.
Yeah, because can you imagine that if we were able to be who we are, we wouldn't be playing a game to be somebody else. And imagine that you have in a room 100 people playing a role. It's like you are in a movie and you play a role instead of being who you are. So this is frustrating. This is shameful. This builds guilt, anger, and all these feelings that are overwhelming us on a daily basis. So if really we integrate who we are and let it out, we have really this ability to interact with people exactly like we should, not in a shameful way, because we interact with somebody, but okay. And that's how we connect. Because you are talking, I thought I was talking. I felt that what you were saying resonated so much with me that I say, oh, we have to talk.
Yeah.
And it's being yourself. It's difficult. Yes, it is, because you have to be in the world thinking about how other people will see you. But when you don't care anymore, you are yourself. You open to be who you are.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful. It's beautiful what you do. And I am really amazed with your son, and it would be great one day if you want to have a discussion, post a video with him, post it on your Angel Network. We have a lot of parents and teenagers who are watching and want to hear that they are not crazy, or they have hope and they are normal. Yeah. Because they label them as not being normal because they are different, or we are different. You know, that's why all this craziness about, oh, we are different, it's not right. Yes, it is good to be different. It's good to be unique. We are unique. Mm-hmm. When you have twins, they are not identical. Even if they look identical, they are never identical. And studies have shown that. So we are really unique and fabulous, and we should embrace it. embrace our uniqueness, to feel it and be who we are. And if you do that with children, I think it's so important that you begin to open them and realize that, okay, you don't have to wear the same jeans, the same shoes, the same thing. If you don't want to, be who you are.
Yeah.
You like the flower and you're a man, it's okay. You can have flowers, you can have a hat, you can be who you are. And it's look like outside, but inside we are, no matter what, different. We are unique. And that is important.
So beautiful. That is so true, all of that. And but it's so hard it's so difficult for so many of us to really come into that for ourselves, because we don't even know who we are.
And you are right,
because we've been said, this is who we are. Like,
yeah,
we have these identities, we have these career choices, we have these like categories. This is who I am, and this list of who I am. But who are you truly, and can you connect to that part of yourself? If you're experiencing a deep longing that there is something more meaningful than this, that somehow that there's a deeper purpose to your life, then your soul, your essence is calling you back home to yourself. And I think collectively we're really going through that right now.
Yes, I believe all this pandemic is a kind of kick in the butt for us to come back inside. Stay inside. Stay inside. Think about it. The image is you stay inside. You have to stay inside. And you have people who cannot stay inside.
Mhm.
Of course they cannot. But how can you go inside, get back inside, to be able to feel, to be able to reflect on who you really are? Not the person that your parents label you to be, not the person that society label you to be, but be the person that you are. And think about it. Each of us, we have gifts, talents, unique skills who are part of our personality. So when we step back, pause, reflect on, okay, what are my strengths? What do I really like? What's who I am? And if we take the time in this pandemic time, it's really the time for us to stop and think.
Yeah, what are my true desires? What do I really want to do? Really inner reflecting. And sometimes we can't get to those answers right away. If you're feeling like I can't sit with myself, I can't, all these thoughts come in my mind is so busy. It's okay. That's okay, because that's part of the process. That's part of the process to become observer of those thoughts. And as you become observer of those thoughts and allow them to pass, you can begin to notice what those thoughts are telling you about what's in your subconscious, which is the conditioned part of your brain. Yeah. And so then you could realize, oh, wow, I've been believing this my whole life, but it's not who I am or what I want to do, or, that's not where I want my life to go anymore. And thinking back to as a child, like what captured your wonder, your curiosity, before you were so heavily conditioned into the way in which the world works, because the way in which the world works is transforming. We are in a breakdown, a collective breakdown, and transformation involves a complete breakdown in order to become something new. And so we are being pushed and supported to not rely on outer authority or a savior or a hero or a politician or a president to tell us what to do or how to do it, or that everything's going to be okay. We are being called back to ourselves to develop our own authority, to be like, we are the author of our lives. What do we say? What's our perspective? And to be curious about other people's perspective and to see where you belong. I think we often mistake the path to unity or the path to awakening or enlightenment as something where we have to be the same. We have a similar destination. And we are all unique fractals of energy, of the source energy.
Oh,
And we are here to express that unique fractal of source. And through that individual work and that individual knowing, we will change the world. It takes looking within to change the outer world. It's not outside action. It's not these people have to believe these things because I believe my truth is right and your truth is wrong. It's about being curious about all truths and being like, what's true for me?
So Tara, it's so right and so amazing how you express this, all that. And think about it, guys who are listening. If we were all the same, how it would be. If just think about the image of everybody dressing the same way, it will be boring. But let's go a little bit further. If we were the same, what would be the mission of the collective? If you think about yourself as part of the collective, yes, we are, but we have a unique mission. We have unique skills. We have unique talent. And because of that, we are bringing something different, but something useful in the world. This is the point. We really have to think about ourselves, not as, okay, we are all the same, doesn't matter, I don't matter. Yes, we all matter because each of us have a unique, hear it well, unique mission in the world. And there is Curtis Child created an amazing video, and I show it to people, and I talk about it often. It's called "We Are the Lung," and in this video, he has the image of this grand human. It's Swedenborg who creates this teaching of the grand human. So imagine that the world, you have the grand human. It's all humanity. And each grand human have a little space. So one is in charge of the heart, one is in charge of the lung, one is in charge of the kidney. So one doing something who help this grand human work perfectly. And I found that, wow. When I saw this video, and if you are listening, check it out because it's so well done. He did a video with animation, and it's beautiful what he did. And it really showed us that we are all unique and fabulous. So hear it, because we are unique and fabulous. So Tara, do you have something to add? Because I hope you have listened to what she said, because it was so empowering for me to listen to you the first time, and again to listen to you today.
Thank you. I just have to say, like, when we discover who we truly are, we recognize that we are love. We are the energy of love. And we could connect to that divine spark within ourselves and see that for ourselves and integrate all aspects of ourselves by facing the darkness, by facing the shadow, by facing dismantling the conditioning within yourself. I have developed so much compassion for other people's journey and process, because everybody is unique, but also everybody's on a unique journey and trajectory. And not everybody's going to travel up the spiral at the same rate. Some people are down here working on their lessons, working on their growth and their evolution, and some are here, and it is all okay. It is all okay. Yeah. The more we could work within, the more we reflect within, the more we recognize, peel away those layers that prevent us from seeing that we are divine, that we are love, and that we are more powerful than you could ever imagine. Like my son said, pure genius, right? Yes. and that we all have an intricate role in this world, and coming to a place of utter compassion. And so compassion for yourself right now. If you are struggling, if you are feeling hopeless, if you feeling the state of the world is in despair, know that you are not alone. This is the path of transformation. It is not comfortable. It is not comfortable. It is hard work to look and see all of the ways that we have denied ourselves, all of the ways in which we have been conditioned to deny ourselves, all of the wounding and the trauma we've experienced that has kept us in loops and patterns of survival. And know that there is ways out. Know that there's support. Know that you are not alone, that you are seen and heard and understood. You are. And you are special, and you are important, and you are valued. That is my message.
Thank you, Tara. And you really matter. Each of us, we matter. So if you have this feeling, as she said, it's okay, it's normal, reach out to one of us. It's we have a platform which is completely free for you to come, ask questions, listen to the videos, and you will find an answer. And if you cannot, I'm sure one of these person will be happy to answer to your questions. So thank you so much, Sarah. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
And if anybody's interested in speaking to me further, I help to activate and support you finding your soul purpose and living an authentic life through mindfulness and intuitive evolutionary astrology. So you could visit me on Instagram at Tara Martello with an underscore at the end.
And we will post under this video all the detail. So you will be able to reach out to Tara or reach out to me, and we are here to help. So have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and Tara, I will speak with you soon.
Thank you so much, Medge. It was my honor, pleasure. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.